Beatboxing.
Welcome to our YouTube channel where we talk about books and we don't wear flannel. Just kidding. I think I'm on video wearing flannel.
Oh, really?
At least one episode.
Oh, I don't know that I've worn a flannel.
It's me, Brendan.
I'm Bridget. Welcome to Tome Time.
It's Tome Time, baby. Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
What's the best genre of all time?
The best genre of all time is fantasy.
Cool. Which is a subgenre of what?
Fiction.
Yeah, we're talking about why you need to read fiction.
Why you
right?
need to be reading fiction.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because everyone's always like, I feel like fiction it gets a bad rap.
It can get a bad rap.
People are like, you need to read like, I don't know. I just feel like people are like, you're not. You need to be taught a lesson by this real
book. It makes
book.
you less smart or something.
Yeah.
You don't learn things.
Why are you wasting your time with made up shit?
Yes, it does get a bad rap.
And
statistically, there is a decline in adults reading fiction in the past recent years, especially among men.
Thanks, Andrew Tate, bald bitch. Is that? But are people just reading less in general? Like, how do you get? Okay.
That's probably a fair point.
Yeah.
I think yes, people are reading less in general.
Yeah.
But I also think, just from my own observations of the world and the people around me, men don't like to read fiction.
Yeah.
They want to read nonfiction, self-help, stuff like David Goggins books and things like that.
Well, men are not okay.
I mean, that's fair.
And
I don't know if you've heard.
You as a man need to figure it out, all right? Not me, though. I got to figure it out. I'm chilling. I read hella fiction.
You do?
I read almost only fiction.
Yeah, that's super fair. You don't often read nonfiction.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I do a little bit of both.
I'm not saying that nonfiction is bad, also. I probably should read more nonfiction. But I don't want to, so I'm not going to.
Okay, so I found a study done by the NIH, the National Institute of Health.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. That basically says that people that read fiction can improve their social cognitive abilities.
Okay.
So, like, basically their ability to empathize with people.
Okay.
And it enhances, like, your social cognition, like your ability to exist in a social context.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
So, like, what am I trying to say? So, like, understanding, like, I guess I'm just trying to say empathy.
Yeah. Basically, that's what they're saying.
But, like, yeah, okay. Interesting.
That reading fiction allows one's ability to empathize and understands other people to be better and to be higher. They basically say, it says right here, readers of fiction score higher on measures of empathy and theory of mind, which is the ability to think about others' thoughts and feelings, which is bonkers.
I think that makes sense, though.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I mean, okay, this is going to be a vibes-based small video essay from me, because I just, like, I don't know, I feel like I'm not that smart. So, like, but it makes sense to me just in the way that, like, okay, if I think about a self-help book, it's very intrinsic.
Yeah.
This is what you need to do for yourself.
Yeah.
But if you're okay, for me, I'm reading a fantasy book. I think that, number one, for it to be entertaining, it has to be relatable in some sort of way, right?
Sure.
And so you're seeing these made-up characters go through this made-up world, but they're having relatable problems in some way.
Yeah.
And you're seeing them interact with a society. And I just feel like and you care for that character and you care for the other characters. Like, that just makes sense that it would make your brain used to being empathetic.
Yeah.
Rather than being like reading a book that says like, whatever.
Well,
you need to get
reading
out of bed
fiction in and of itself is putting yourself in someone else's shoes.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a good way to say what I was trying to say. Thank you.
Like, you become the main character of that book.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to connect to their emotions and their problems.
Yeah.
And that is empathy.
Yeah.
Like that is what it is.
Right.
to,
Right.
to care about other people. And I think the point you're making about nonfiction, especially the types of nonfiction that are popular right now, like
Sure.
the friggin' one we talked about a couple of videos ago, the Mel Robbins one.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It very often is.
Just real quick, sorry. Someone commented on that video. I think it was on YouTube. It might have been on TikTok. That was like, "Yo, I looked into this lady and she's shady as fuck." And I was like, "Thank God, dude," because we went in on her. We went in on her a little bit. Yeah. I was like, "Thank you. I feel good about what I said now."
Yeah. I feel like now since I've said that, I've seen people roasting her on social media too, which makes me feel better.
Funny.
Like, have you seen the trend right now that's like propaganda I'm not falling for?
No, sounds awesome though.
Someone made a video about that, and Mel Robbins just was one of the things.
That's so
Mel
funny.
Robbins.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, but books like that are like, you are fine. It's the everyone else's problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not a book of building tolerance for other people.
Right.
And I genuinely feel like many of the self-help books I've read have been that way, in that like you're trying to improve yourself, but you also aren't getting a picture of like being tolerant for other people and their experiences and their humanness, which I feel like, especially the types of fictions that you and I like to read that are very character driven, you really get to see people through like all spectrums of good and bad.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Like the gray area in between.
You see them making huge mistakes and then coming back or not coming back from those mistakes.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think it makes a lot of sense that you develop those types of skills when you read books like that.
Also, like a lot of fiction that I've read, like we talk about a lot, but they have like certain themes, and I feel like they're almost like well hidden in the story, where it's like you're learning about, I don't know, whatever, like equality or some shit, just to like throw a theme out there, by being entertained. Like it's a good way to like learn something and like understand it. I feel like, you know what I mean?
I totally agree. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. As long as you're paying attention. But I also think that's the other thing that reading fiction does for you, especially if you continue to do it, right? Like, I think we've talked about this before, that there's like entry level fiction and fantasy and then the bigger ones. So if you start at the entry level, you're basically building up the like pathways in your brain to be able to read into all that foreshadowing and all of the like underlying themes in these big, hefty, massive books.
You're just working out that comprehension muscle, baby.
Which is, I don't know, I feel like that's also a good life skill, right?
Sure.
Like a pattern recognition type thing. I don't know.
Also, I think that there's like less like huge reasons, like obviously like learning to be empathetic, I would say, is like a pretty big thing that you should like learn as a human.
Yeah.
But also just like you need, like, being entertained is good.
Yes.
Like you need to have a break from living a hard life.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yes. I totally agree.
Decompressing.
Yeah, well, and like I am no longer married to the idea that a good life is a life that is constantly like in progression. Like I have to always be growing or getting better to have a life that's successful or fulfilling. Like I don't buy into that anymore. And I feel like that is self-help.
Yeah.
Like all of them are like how to get better, how to improve, how to make more money. And like if that's what you want to be learning about, then go for it. But that's not the only thing I care about.
Yeah.
Like I just want to be happy sometimes, you know, and I want to have enjoyment.
Yeah.
And that is these types of books.
Yeah, 100%.
Even though I will say there are plenty of fantasy and fiction books that I've read that have given me the same lessons, if you will, as a self-help book.
Right. Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I haven't read that many self-help books.
That's fine. You're not missing much.
I've read Start by Jon Acuff.
I've never even heard that.
Don't remember what it said. And yeah, that might be it.
That's fair. I've read a handful.
Yeah.
I went through a phase, as many do.
Yeah. What else you got? I see some bullet points here.
Yes, just a few things. Improved language skills, obviously, which I feel like you get from any book.
Sure.
But I also think in fantasy, especially when you're doing like the world building and things, your ability to like comprehend and remember things that you didn't know before.
Yeah.
Like the names of a world that doesn't exist and their types of powers, and like that's a skill that you learn when reading books like this. Obviously it helps with things like creativity and imagination, problem solving, social skills, and according to this, better sleep.
I disagree with that one. But that's just because I stay up really late and
late.
like I'm like, yeah, it's 1 o'clock. I better start reading my book now.
Yeah. If I get sucked in, there's no way I'm going to bed.
Yeah. I mean, I have nothing to say about sleep. I'm a terrible sleeper. I don't do that. I don't do sleeping really.
I do, but I have 3 children.
About it.
I have 3 kids, so I feel like I have to sleep when I'm able, or I die.
I mean, it's gonna catch up to me. I'm pushing 30. It's gonna,
You'll get there eventually.
There'll be a time where I'm like, I wish I would have done sleeping better, but whatever. Yeah.
But then we'll die and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's
cool.
my thoughts.
Yeah.
You should all read more fiction.
Yeah. And I think like, I don't know. I just think that we could be less serious about shit. It's okay to have fun. Like, I'm not saying you should only read fiction, but it's like, let loose a little bit, brother.
Agreed.
Like, I don't know.
Do something silly.
Yeah. You need to decompress. You need to do escapism every now and again.
Yes.
And I also think that like building your imagination back up, like, because obviously as a kid, like we're all like, huge imaginations. But I just think like I have no science to back it up, but I just think it's good to have like an imagination and to be able to, be creative.
Yeah, I agree.
So
get yourself a hobby that does not include making money or going to the gym.
Dude, I always see videos that are like, your hobbies need to make money, or how to make your hobby make money. I'm like, just enjoy something.
Have a thing that you like.
Enjoy something, please. Literally. God, you don't have to grind so hard all the time.
Stop. Stop being entrepreneurs. Stop it right now.
I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a hobby that makes you money. Like, that's fine. But not everything has to do that.
We do not have to monetize every part of our life. That doesn't need to happen.
That being said, subscribe to our new Patreon. No, I'm not just playing. I'm playing. That'd be really funny,
that would be hilarious.
All right.
Oh.
Read some fiction, baby.
Okay, bye.
Love you, bye.